What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Blaze Heaven Power JA. All the names, all the games, you already freaking know, bro. What? And today, we're not playing a game. We're doing a movie review, but this time on my actual camera instead of my phone camera. So, typically with movie reviews, I do like barely any editing. I just like to sit down, have a chat with you guys. So, I just came back from watching Final Destination Bloodlines, and I gotta say, I'm gonna come right out and say it. This is my first Final Destination movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Shout out to my boy James A. Janice at Dead Meat, cause I know everything I know about Final Destination because of his videos. So once again, shout out to Dead Meat. Make sure you guys go follow him, like all his videos, watch all of his videos. He's a great creator, way larger than me, but I love him to death. He's helped me navigate my way through the entire horror landscape and is the reason I love horror movies today. So, all the information I have about Final Destination is from him. With that being said, I have never watched a Final Destination movie before. I've only watched videos about it. So I know pretty much how the stuff goes down, but I don't really know anything about the movies itself. So, yeah, I just came back from watching technically my first Final Destination movie. How did I like it? I love it. So for this being my first Final Destination movie, I gotta say this is a great movie. This is a great movie. It was very cool to see all the nods and references to the old movies. Once again, even though I never watched them, I pretty much know like Flight 180, Route 66, or something. You know, the highway in Final Destination 2. I know about majority of the stuff. I know how it goes down. I should watch the movies eventually. So don't get on me in the comments for that. I do know I should watch these movies eventually, and I will. But until then, I just want to talk about Bloodlines. So first off, I gotta say, the kills are absolutely disgusting. But they're very CGI. Oh my gosh, it's so obvious. It is so obvious. And it like it didn't take me out of the movie too much, but I still noticed it. Like, it is very obviously CGI. There's a scene where a character is getting crushed by something. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say by what. I'm going to try to keep it very spoiler limited. I'm trying not to give you guys any spoilers or nothing like that, but a character is getting crushed. And you can see their face obviously turned into CGI. Like, low key, if you look hard enough, you can see a little bit of a glitch in their face, okay? It's really obvious to see that that person is not a person, it's a CGI creation, okay? So, I'll tell you, the CGI gets really annoying, right? You can obviously tell it's there. Hopefully, it doesn't bring you out of the movie too much like it did for me, but well, like for me, it didn't bring me out like wow, this movie sucks because it was CGI. No. It kind of just like, huh. Well, I know that's CGI, but this is still a good movie, right? So yeah, that person's getting crushed, and you can just obviously tell, yeah, that person is CGI. Now, forgive me again because I can't remember the characters' names word for word, but I'm sure you've seen them in the Final Destination trailers because I watched the trailers as well. It's the guy with the nose piercings, the kind of emo tattoo artist kind of guy. Um, so yeah, something happens, someone dies. Again, not gonna say who, and it really affects him really deeply. So he gives himself a tattoo, and that scene was pretty nice actually. Like, once again, have not seen a Final Destination movie, but I hear that they are notorious for not giving too much of a crap about their characters. So to see how, even if it was like a tiny, small little thing, it at least shows me that Well, these characters aren't crappy. Like they actually, like it seems like they matter instead of just being some meat bags. So yeah, you these characters have some life behind them, but not all of them, because there are two characters. Um, I know the girl's name. The girl's name is Lizzie. I hope. And the boys actually, I am going to, now that I have my computer, I can search it up. Final Destination characters, Final Destination, I should say Bloodlines. I type like an I type like an old person. Okay. So Julia Campbell and the Paul. All right, so Julia and Paul. Okay, Julia is very good friends with the character of Charlie, and Charlie is the brother of Stefani. Okay, so Julia is kind of like the cousin of Charlie, and Paul is Julia's brother. Those characters felt very boring to me, especially Julia. Actually, I don't think I could really point any of them out too much. They were both equally boring. If anyone in this movie felt like meatbags, it was those two, the father. The father has a name, and I'll pull it out for you guys now. Howard. Howard and all of Howard's kids except Eric, and Eric is the tattoo artist. All of them except Eric felt pretty boring. Very, very boring. That is my dog in the back. That is my dog. Everybody say hi Dusty in the comments. That's his name. Please don't lick my tuba. But yeah, so the characters felt really boring to me. They didn't have anything special. Like when you first look at I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. When you first look at Paul, you'd kind of think he's like the meathead kind of jock character guy thing. Um but that other than his build and how he sounds, you're doing nothing else except just assuming that he's a jock. And I mean that's not really there's can't really do anything else cuz he has no story. Julia seems kind of just like the pretty girl, the oh, I'm so cutesy kind of girl. You know, you only have to assume because she has no character traits. Howard seems like a goofy dad, and yet you're only assuming because he acts like an idiot. I almost cussed right there. He acts like an idiot, and kind of just has like goofy dad traits. So a lot of the character work kind of comes from your interpretation of the characters. It's a lot of guesswork. It's a lot of guessing, trying to figure out where these characters fit in. There was also a slight storyline between the character of Darlene, Stefani, Charlie, and Marty. Looking at this, I'm looking at the Google thing again, but there was a slight storyline between those four. They are a family, and Darlene abandoned the family because her mom went crazy because she looked death in the face pretty much. So her mom went crazy and started telling her a bunch of stuff like on how to survive and find out where death is, right? So Darlene almost passed that on to her kids, but she didn't want to do that, so she ran away. That was very half baked. Very half baked. Very half baked storyline. Cause like you would think, wow, they are doing something pretty nice here, but no, not really. Not really. Cause well, first off, they rarely ever mention it. They rarely ever. It's like offhand comments like, "Well, if you really wanted kids, you would have stuck around." You know, it's like it's offhand comments, and then we cut to somebody like blowing up or something crazy like that, right? Um, there was that half baked storyline, kind of boring meatbag characters. The comedy in this movie, I feel like some people who go and see this will laugh pretty hard. It's pretty. It's a funny movie and kind of starts bordering on some horror comedy elements. Starts bordering on some horror comedy elements. Can't lie. So there's that. Um. So I'd say final thoughts on final final destiny final thoughts on this movie. It's a good movie to just watch, turn your brain off, not think about nothing, and just like watch a really gory horror movie. That's what this movie was. You just turn your brain off, laugh at a couple jokes, scream when you see somebody get their face ripped off or something horrible like that, you know, cuz Final Destination not for the faint of heart. Me and my mom went to go see this. Yeah, dude, no. she she said she didn't like how gory it was. So, yeah, if you're going to go see this movie, I recommend it, but I recommend also not to take it too seriously. Just turn your brain off and enjoy a movie, cuz this Final Destination movie is like there's not enough to the characters to care about them. They're all pretty boring people. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching. If you want my final rating for this movie, out of 10, I would give it a solid 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to get into some horror movies, if you want to try watching horror movies, I recommend going to Dead Meat's YouTube channel. That's DEADMEAT. He's a great YouTuber. He got me into the horror franchise, and like, dude, I wouldn't have even gone to see Final Destination if it wasn't for him. I've been watching him for years. So if you're interested in watching horror movies, I would start with Dead Meat. And I swear he did not pay me to say this. This is not an ad, even though it kind of sounds like one. But yeah, man, I just really love his channel. So, thank you all for watching. Seriously. And a little bit of an update for the gaming side of this channel. Where is Resident Evil 7? I'm trying to do what I saw Corey Kenshin do with his Resident Evil Village gameplay, where he just plays the entire game and shoves it into little bits and pieces. So, and compiles it into one big meatball, basically. And because I'm saying that, I'm also going to tell you guys I am not making YouTube videos about Resident Evil 8 because I already watched Corey Kenshin play the whole thing through. So there'd be no point. I know and plus I played the whole game through myself not too long ago. Like 2 years ago probably. So, yeah. You're not getting Resident Evil 8, but you will be getting Resident Evil 7 probably in like the next couple weeks or so, because there's a lot of game I gotta get through. So make sure you all like, comment, subscribe. Go check out James A. Janice, Dead Meat. I'll get out of your hair.